as the alternate media expands its reaches to 100,000 Indians across the country. Thanks to increasingly cheaper internet connectivity, its restraint and liability also start surfacing in public discourses. The limitation and gradually losing credibility of the mainstream media may pave the way for a boosting alternate media, but it is still miles apart from the trustworthiness among users. In fact, voluminous media coverage in Assam following the relentless rumor, continued uncertainty and inherent fear had recently resulted in the elimination of 2 innocent lives along with severe injuries to few others and also stranding of thousands railway passengers for days in different isolated locations. The rumor of incorporating many parts of Assam including the Dimahasao district in the greater Nagaland, continued to hunt the people of Assam since the virtual end of Naga movements. The proposed Nagaland continues to claim many areas of Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur and also northern Myanmar localities. The uncertainty over the government actions remains fully intact as the content of Naga Framework Agreement is yet to be made public. The Union government in New Delhi signed the agreement on August 3, 2015 with the influential Naga armed outfit, Nationalist Socialist Council of Nagaland, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself announced the peace deal through the social media. With this background of anxiety and worries, a report was published in the reputed portal, https://thewire.in/215195 revealed RSS draft plan Nagaland Accord / indicating that Dimahasao district in central Assam may be incorporated in Nagaland. The contributor Sangeeta Baroo Pisharity in her report titled Revealed RSS Draft Plan for Nagaland Accord quoted Jagdamban, an understood Rashtriya Swayamsevak sang, RSS, ideologue based in Nagaland for decades and tried to authenticate it. The trouble-stricken Dimahasao, which is an autonomous district constituted under the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution, homes to Dimasa tribe people with a sizable Naga population. Since 80s, the district witnessed various ethnic insurgent outfits and most notorious was the Giogarlosa-led Dima Halamdoka, which once terrorized the entire district. The content of the wire might have reached a few readers, but the same story was reproduced by a section of local newspapers and news channels to attract the attention of 100,000 residents of the state. Soon the resentments among the Dimasa people about their inclusion in Nagaland surfaced and it grew abruptly. Various agitating Dimasa groups including the Jaidik Nasohoshum, All Dimasa Students Union, Dimasa Mother Association and Dimasa Women's Society etc., called for a series of protest rallies across the Hills district, where the local political party representatives also participated. The agitators demanded a clarification from the governments over the matter at the earliest. One such public protest in front of Maybong railway station on 25 January turned violent. The police resorted to firings as the protesters started vandalism at the railway properties. 2 tribal agitators namely Mithunjay Diberjeet and Pradhan Hugmausa were killed in police firings, whereas 10 others received injuries. The killings were condemned widely and strikes continued in the district for days which resulted in stranding of thousands railway passengers from southern Assam with Tripura to Guwahati. 3 state ministers namely Chandramohan Patwari, Keshab Mohanta and Puramal Suklabadia visited the trouble-torn district to take stock of the situation. They also met the victim families and assured possible government supports at the earliest. Amidst the chaos, Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal invited a group of Dimasa civil society representatives and reiterated the government's stand that not a single inch of Assam land would be ceded for Nagaland, assuring the delegation of civil society groups in presence of Dimahasao Autonomous Council Chief Dabalal Garlosa. On 30th January, Sonowal categorically stated that the state's territorial integrity would not be harmed. Mentioning about his telephonic conversations with the Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh, the Chief Minister declared that even no satellite council or special development authority of Nagaland would also be allowed in Assam. Sonowal informed that necessary steps were taken to provide appropriate government jobs to close relatives of both the victims of police firings and free treatment to those injured in the incident. The state government has already constituted a one-man committee headed by the state's additional chief secretary VBPIL to inquire into the circumstances that led to violence and subsequent police firings, but public angers continued for days, including a massive protest rally at Maybong locality in presence of ASU advisor Samachal Bhattacharya, ABSU General Secretary Pramod Bora with many others. Jagdamban Mall, who is facing a formal police complaint in Assam, lately clarified that he personally put some suggestions to settle the 6-decade-long Naga antipathy, but the concerned reporter blew the content out of proportion. Mal declared that he was not a RSS member, so his suggestions were nothing to do with the RSS or the BJP governments. Meanwhile, expressing serious concern over the recent unpleasant incidents in Dima Hasao following few media contents, the Journalists Forum Assam, JFA, appealed to the common people to be judicious over reacting to media reports. The Northeast India-based Scribes Forum, while demanding a regulatory authority over the alternate media, had urged the government to empower the Press Council, maybe renamed as Media Council of India, with the inclusion of electronic and social media. While the concerned portal should have reported the matter with right perspective, the vernacular news outlets must have authenticated the facts before publishing the news item, said a JFA statement, adding that those newspapers might have recognized the news portals as the trusted news agencies and hence found logic to use the content of the portal over a sensitive issue without verification. The author is a Guwahati, Northeast India based journalist. More in Journalism 2017. Dreaded year for journalists in India as the year 2017 sets to bid adieu. India finds itself in an embracing situation with the annual statistics of 12 journalists either murdered or died in suspicious situations. Asserting media's rights in India, the Media Fraternity of India observed an unusual Gandhi Jayanti this time as scores of scribes across the country organized protest demonstrations in different locations with sole demand for ensuring security and justice to working journalists. What should a dissertation look like? Many articles and guides give you an idea of what you need to include in the body of your dissertation, but did you know that the format of your work is also important? This is commonly overlooked, but formatting your work, including binding the final copies, takes time and you should allow for this. Garo villagers in northeast India quench for safe drinking water. Most of the Garo villages in Meghalaya lack safe drinking water facilities. As such, the scarcity of water persists. Range Irbol Salgar, a small hamlet in West Garo Hills, has set an example. The villagers prioritized that water was its prime importance and approached various organizations. West Garo Hills Community Resource Management Society, an NGO operating in Gar Hills, helped the village to identify a scheme, and water is now available in plenty.